Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wake Up Missoula. I'm your host, Scott Ramph. I've been gone a lot this month with vacations and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Summer is a very tricky time of the year, but I'm back. I don't foresee myself leaving anytime soon. Maybe the next vacation I'll have is during Thanksgiving. So you're stuck with me Wednesdays and Fridays from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I changed that time a year ago. Every week. So let's kick things off with the old typical weather. 52 degrees out currently. The high is going to be 91, and it's going to peak this Thursday with a high of 92. And then you can expect some of those nice temperatures going back down to the 80s this weekend as well. But of course, apparently there's haze. According to the weather charts of nationalweatherservice.gov, there's haze outside. But from what I saw, it's pretty nice and clear out there. So if you want to get a good representation of the weather, stick your head out the window. Let's move on to some other things that are happening, or what happened. It's time for some news, or should I say olds. Monday, Pearl Jam played in Missoula Monday night. Moving on, the Green Party in Montana are challenging election officials when they were told their party would not be on the ballot for insufficient signatures in the Montana districts. District Judge James Larson's ruling that removed Montana Green Party candidates from the November general election ballot because 87 signatures were ruled invalid. The party is challenging the March 15th submission deadline and the requirement that a minimum number of signatures be gathered in 34 out of the 100 legislative districts. In state news, a carny faces 4 charges of sexual assaults that extend to a 13-year-old girl. In Great Falls, during the Montana State Fair, a carnival worker allegedly touched 2 women while working in the Montana State Fair, resulting in 2 misdemeanor charges of sexual assaults. Reports that Salman Garcia, 42, touched a woman and a 13-year-old girl while checking their seatbelts on the ride of the Montana State Fair in Great Falls in late July. As of right now, no charges have been made against Salman Garcia, and the owners of Mighty Thomas Carnival say that they support their employee and officials pending these allegations. In national news, the long-awaited grand jury investigation into clergy sexual abuse in Pennsylvania were released Tuesday in interim redacted form. The report detailed decades of alleged misconduct and cover-ups in 6 of the state's 8 Roman Catholic dioceses. Majority of these activities describes within a scathing investigation falls outside of Pennsylvania's statutes of limitation for sexual crimes, and those clergy members, both named and currently blacked out on the report, are not expected to face criminal charges. According to NPR, in Pennsylvania, a victim of child sex abuse who turned 18 after August 27th, 2002, has until the age of 50 to file criminal charges. So if you had any kind of sexual assaults at those times, you're asked to call the folks who are investigating this. Those who turn 18 before August 27, 2002, cannot bring themselves to a criminal case. For civil charges, child victims have until their 30th birthday to file, no matter when the abuse occurred. Many of the alleged abuses has a veil of anonymity on them that they have forwarded from Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Hearings to decide the complaints by individuals, clergy members, are valid will be held in September in Pennsylvania. So it's an ongoing thing, but things are moving forward on this one. So that's kind of what's happening with the news. I got a bunch of new programs happening, and I still got a lot to talk about because the city of Missoula talks about some homelessness. So stay with me. And when I get back, I'll get your city council report right after this.
Today we're at the City County Animal Shelter out here on Butler Road, and we're visiting with Jeff Dara, who is the Animal Control Supervisor. Jeff, one of the things that we were talking about is we're out here on a beautiful summer day. The breeze is coming up, and I think, wow, this is really great. I think, I'm going to run into the store, get some ice, and the dog wanted to come along.
Missoula is such a dog-friendly community. We want to take our dogs everywhere we go, and for the most part, that's great.
Thanks for tuning in today to Look Before You Speak. We have a very special guest today who's working in ceramics, Michelle Lewis. And she's going to tell us a little bit about herself. And this is the first time we've had a clay artist actually in the studio. So we're very excited about that.
I'd like to share one. So what's important to me is that we have person first language. So it's kids with disabilities, kids with autism rather than autistic. The diagnosis is not a function of their identity. It may be a part of them, but the kid comes first. So I'd appreciate it if you say, this kid with autism, or this child with a disability, child with an IEP, any others that we can be respectful. So I've got a book. It's called How Rude, The Teen Guide to Good Manners, Proper Behavior, and Not Grossing People Out. Very practitioner friendly, highly recommended from Doug Doty from OPI. I asked him, I'm like, what's a really good practitioner book? He recommended this one, so that's one you can win.
Until I was working at Fort Missoula and looking to buy this building and restore it, and in that context started to find out something about the layout of the building as it had changed over the years, and in the process of that then uncovered the story of this particular courtroom and was able to restore it. And that of course led to a passion about this entire topic of the internment history. In addition to that, as a legislator, I serve in the Senate. I am constantly aware of the issue of the legal rights of people whose status may not be as protected as some of us have, whether you're a gay person, whether you were an Arab American after 9/11, whatever it is. Even though our Constitution claims to protect all of us and grant us all equal rights, that's not always the case. It's historically an issue where people have to fight for that and continue to fight for that.
And we really focus on three things. We focus on protecting wild rivers, and one of the ways we do that is through wild and scenic river designations. We restore damaged rivers, and the major way we do that is through dam removals. So American Rivers, since 1973, has been involved in removing 200 dams across the country. Some of them were as high as this table, and some of them were 220 feet high. It cost $350 million to remove. And this year, I actually just read our latest report. American Rivers helped remove 86 dams. So 2017, actually more dams were removed across the U.S. than any year in our history, which is something we take some pride in.
Recently, UN human rights bodies accusing Eritrea of war crimes or crimes against humanity, essentially because of the way it has been treating its population. Not war crimes taking place due to armed conflicts. So this also shows the gravity of the situation. And Eritreans who are proud of being independent are now, Eritreans outside the country, within the country, the chance to speak against the government is nil. It is zero. No one can speak against the government. But Eritreans outside the country who were in fact supportive of the government before independence and after independence, a good number of Eritreans are now speaking against the regime.
There's a lot of good programs airing on MCAT, all made here in the city of Missoula, and you can look them up by going on to MCAT's website at MCAT.org. MCAT.org is your local resources for everything local. We go out and we shoot a lot of local videos and whatnot. I keep on saying local, so this is how you do it. If you're interested in having MCAT go to your event or your lecture and film your lecture, you can go to the How Do I tab right above here, and you can request event recording. That simple, that easy, and you fill out the form and MCAT will come on down and film your event. The only stipulation is that you have to be a nonprofit and you must not be asking for money as well. So it's not like one of those videos where it's a call to action. So we do we've done concerts, we've done rallies, but first and foremost, this is supposed to be usually kind of events that are held for free and for informational exchange and gathering. So just letting you guys know that. If you want to learn more information about my morning show, you can go to wakeupmissoula.wixsite.com/wakeupmissoula. So nice we made you read it out twice. You can go to videos, and you can see past videos of my past episodes of Wake Up Missoula, along with some summer series videos, dubbing stuff, and I got a new dubbing stuff for you guys today as well. It's going to be pretty exciting. What else? Oh yeah, Boys and Girls Club of Missoula County have been coming down for the last 3 weeks. So MCAT is, I don't know, it's closed for the first hour that we're open. So we're technically open from 12 to 7. But we have Boys and Girls Club of Missoula County coming in from 10 to 12, Monday through Thursday, and they're going to be here today and tomorrow, and then next week they'll be here from Monday through Thursday again, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then that's it. Boys and Girls Club of Missoula County comes every summer for 3 weeks, and it's a nice little excerpt, couple hours, and then we film movies, much like this one you're about to see. Here's a little tease of a movie that will be dropping on MCAT's YouTube channel at 11.
Gross. You wait here. I'm gonna go call Animal Patrol. Oh, I think I should get a snack today. Let's see what's in here. The cat!
All right, so there's a little tease. The whole video will be available on MCAT's YouTube channel. The playlist is called Boys and Girls Club 2018. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about some city council. First and foremost, a disclaimer. Many of the public comments that you're about to hear are people talking about their issues with the homeless population in the city of Missoula. And I just want to say that homelessness is a very intense issue, especially it's very controversial in the city of Missoula. And first and foremost, I want to refer to the people who are homeless as people before homeless people. So it's the choice of words you got to use. You shouldn't think of them as homeless people. You should think of them as people first who are on hard times. And that's what I want to talk about just before we go into some of the city council stuff. We're kicking things off with Kathy Wachowski, who is concerned about the homeless folks in her neighborhoods.
To always tell people who didn't live in Missoula that Missoula was a magic town. It was beautiful, it was a wonderful community to live in, and it was safe. And I'm quite concerned now that I'm not sure I can say that last line any longer. I hear from parents who are afraid for their children. They will not send their children to the park by themselves. I hear of children who will not ride their bicycles across the California Street Bridge even during the day. So these are very, very disturbing pieces of information for me, and I assume for you. I'm sure you are not unaware of the many problems that plague the West Broadway corridor. I wanted you to hear from some people who are really being deeply affected by them and to understand that the problems are not limited to West Broadway, but are seeping back into the residential neighborhood. And that if we do not get more help, that we are going to end up with a blighted neighborhood.
All right, so that's Kathy Wachowski talking about some of the concerns. I got a couple more quotes from a couple other members of the community. Jam Cordini with Shelley Miller Attention Shelter. It's part of the youth homes in Missoula. He's concerned that it's giving the wrong message to some of the young kids who are also dealing with homelessness.
I think it is a complex problem. I think that we really do need your help, and I'm sure we can sit down and talk about solutions, but it really just has affected us really severely. I've been there now going on 11 years. Spent a lot of time as a direct care worker, so played a lot of football and frisbee in that park. We no longer can do that. So there's a lot of people that are sleeping in the park, trying to recover maybe from the night's activities or the day's activities. Lots of drug use, feces by our bedroom windows, needles in the bushes, vomit, and then just repeated kind of acts of violence that are out back that we do call the police, and the police are very responsive about, and we're appreciative of that. But it's hard to watch, and it's hard for kids that are at risk and coming from difficult homes to watch that on a routine basis as well. And so we end up being inside, or going somewhere else to try to recreate versus being outside to have a conversation. And so I just wanted to bring that in, just instead of being general, very specific. So yeah, I'm selfish for being here because the Lions Park has been awesome, And I think, the neighborhood's always had its, I think, things happen. We've witnessed a number of things, but just it's really exponentially increased in the last 2 years, but this summer specifically.
All right, so that's a little idea about where specifically things are starting to happen in the city of Missoula and some of the incidents that have been occurring. I think one of the things I just want to note that many of Missoula's 2020 initiatives, 2025, also were to help to end homelessness in the city of Missoula and have more access to low-cost housing. Many issues occur around town, and there have been instances to assault and violence in neighborhoods becoming more frequently. There's been, I did a city council, and there was a public comment about a lady who was assaulted on a street nowhere near the West Riverside area, but it was just randomly on the street where she was with her daughter. But many comments were of concerns on this particular topic, the public comment session of the City Council, and I'm going to have Skylar Hillingsworth talk more specifically of the areas of concern for your benefit.
In the past 28-something years, it certainly has changed. As I believe Kathy had said, there's been a lot of positive growth in the community. People take pride in that community. But unfortunately, over the past couple of years, there have been a lot of really negative incidents. And I don't want to go on at length here. I'll just speak to what I personally witnessed myself or have experienced. My father lives right across the street from Bruce over at the 1600 block of Cooper, right there on the corner of Cooper and Cowper. Walking home from the zip trip, he has been followed, he has been threatened. My father's visually impaired. I worry about the guy. I try to check in on him as often as I can. While going around his yard, I've found different makeshift campsites, stolen goods, whether it be bicycles or large propane tanks. There have been dirty needles scattered up and down that block. My friend, who had the great misfortune of working as a graveyard shift gas station attendant at the zip trip, one evening I go in and he shows me something. He says, "Come over here, check this out. Women's bathroom, someone had taken a piece of bubble gum and a dirty needle, and they set it up as a booby trap rig, so if you were to sit down, it would get you right in the thigh." That's the kind of thing that you just didn't used to hear about in this neighborhood, in Missoula as a community as a whole. And there's been a lot of wonderful investment as far as building up the old sawmill district, and that California bridge does serve as the corridor and the connection, but I fear no one will feel safe to cross it, whether it be in broad daylight or at night.
All right, so that's just a kind of one of the many examples of many of the public comments. You guys can check out the City of Missoula's City Council meeting by going on to the CIRE website, ci.missoula.mt.us, to watch all those public comments. The meeting was pretty much a whole solid hour and a half. They talked about a rezoning thing, but that was only about 5 minutes long compared to this homelessness issue that the citizens are concerned about. Jesse Ramos responds to some of the folks, and this is what he had to say.
I've been hearing this a lot from constituents. It's not that folks in Missoula don't have compassion. We certainly have compassion for these folks, but there's young ladies in my district that are not safe walking home at night. There are young kids that maybe 11, 12 that aren't allowed to go get ice cream in their hometown because of some of the dangers they're presented with. And I just think we have to find the right balance. I know that it's a lot easier said than done. But it's something that I wanted to bring up too, that we represent those folks as well. And another issue I wanted to bring up, and I can't tell if Dr. DeBari enjoys our back and forth banter, because I kind of do, so I enjoy the quips. But so just wanted to state for the record that not everybody that disagrees with you politically, Mr. DeBari, is wrong or not correct or mistaken or misguided, as you would like to say. We have general concerns. We care about the citizens as much as you do. We just have different ways of trying to help out these folks. On the issue of TIF funding, I know Representative Cheetah brought it up. It kind of ties into the homeless situation as well. The Poverello Center, as I understand it, the demolition of the hotel used TIF money, which TIF money, according to state law, is supposed to eliminate blight. And I would challenge my fellow council members to speak to the members of this neighborhood and ask them if their neighborhood is more or less blighted since the Poverello Center came in there.
All right, so that's some of the things that Jesse Ramos had to say. Here's Heather Harp in response to some of the things and also some of the experiences that she has dealt with homelessness.
I joined the board of the Poverello, and I did so because I have a brother-in-law that has been homeless due to mental illness and has been that way for about 10 years. And I've also had my parents who've also experienced homelessness, and they've had to couch surf and stay with me for some period of time. And it was kind of an obvious outlet to try and do some good for the greater community. That being said, what you have experienced is extraordinary and not in a good way. It's scary, and I can't even fathom what it must be like for any one of you in the neighborhood. It should not be something that you have to endure. And so if the mayor will allow me to join the other representatives here from wards 1 and 2, I would love to participate in whatever conversation that goes forward in terms of trying to make this community a little bit better.
All right, so that was Heather Harp, and I wanted to mention that the mayor did mention something. It was a really short comment, so I'm just going to kind of reiterate what he meant to say. He extended an olive branch for anybody in the community who wants to go and talk to the city hall and ask about some of their instances and some of their specific locations, and also you can also call the police even if it has nothing to do with like an emergency, or if you have any instances of homelessness, even if it's not necessarily like one of those things as a reactive emergency. You just can call them as a concern. Maybe that can help narrow down some of the scope of the areas which need to be kind of monitored for future and progressive looks and to kind of think about, because the more we educate ourselves, the more we can move forward on trying to figure out how to solve some of these problems. It's not necessarily about putting homeless folks into homes. It's also about kind of like helping people kind of get back on their feet. Not necessarily those feet have to be inside homes. All right. So anyways, I'm going to end there. If you want to watch all these comments and some of this meeting as well, you can go on to the City of Missoula's website, ci.missoula.mt.us. It's such a great website. I find all my information about the City of Missoula, and is a great way and great resource. But then again, you can always go to MCAT.org. MCAT.org films, Missoula Community Access Television, Missoula's community media resource, films all the city council meetings, the county commissioners, the school board. Last night was live from 6 to whenever. Usually it lasts as long as it lasts. You can watch all those meetings by going on to mcat.org. But I'm going to cheer everyone up and head on over to a new dub and stuff. I am particularly proud of this nice little short excerpt from the movie, The Street Fighter, not based on the video game.
Need to watch this. I'm coming. I'm gonna get you any second now. Oh, wow! Maybe I shouldn't float like a butterfly. Be careful! Do you really think you can take me on? I'm gonna get you. The only thing you're gonna get is a concussion. You gotta be more careful next time. Don't pick a fight with Mustache. Remember that one story about Peter and the Wolf? You know, well, Peter, there's music playing, which represents both. The wolf had his own music, Peter had music, there was the goose.
Please, sir. If you hurt my dad, I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna get my revenge in some form and some fashion. It's gonna...
Hey, listen here. I don't want any sass from you. This is a sass-free zone, and your father gave me way too much sass, so now we're gonna take care of him. Bang, 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 bang.
This is my origin!
Now I remember what I'm fighting for. Yeah. I hope you're ready for some slow motion. I should have tried that before. Works every time. Now you gotta stay down. Ooh. Oh. Crisscross applesauce. You won. Don't worry.
Sir, he totally owned you.
Weren't you watching a different fight? I don't fight with my fists. I fight for love.
Not it.
Hey guys, it's the part of the show where I talk about events that are happening in the city of Missoula. So let's get started. I got all this information by going on to MissoulaEvents.net. MissoulaEvents.net is your local resource for everything that's happening in Missoula. Anyone can submit. All you got to do is go to MissoulaEvents.net, and you can go to the Submit Event tab on there as well. So let's kick things off. Starting this morning, story time in the Fringetown Library, and also Tiny Tales at Empower Place starting at 10:30 a.m. in those locations. Hey, expose your kid to books. Some people can't get to the Missoula Public Library, and if you're localized in the city Frenchtown, you guys can go onto the Frenchtown Library. And of course, if you're in the area of Wyoming Street near the bowling alley, you can walk on down to the Empower Place at Missoula Food Bank and enjoy some Tiny Tales, which it's not just about reading, but it's also about giving kids healthy options for meals and also cheap food through the Missoula Co-op. Missoula Food Co-op. All right, anyways, indoor gymnastics all day happening at Bitterroot Roots Acro Sports Center and Ismo Gymnastics. All sorts of fun activities there. They always have daily events, and they have camps all the way until school starts. So you can check all those out by many of those locations. Out to Lunch is happening today. We're winding down for the summer, because it's pretty much going to start ending pretty soon. So I don't know if this is the last week. You might have to double check, but I know that there's going to definitely be one next week, so this isn't your last chance to go check it out. But they're going to be playing Off in the Woods, which is a reggae band, and they'll be playing from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. with a couple breaks in between. They have a bunch of food vendors, so it's a free event to go to, but if you want to eat and enjoy some of the concessions, you have to pay for that. But other than that, it's free entertainment. You might see some people surfing on the waves because a lot of people like showing off. Out to Lunch at Karis Park starting at 11. Fire Science at Spectrum Discovery Center. It's off of Toole Avenue across from Draftworks Brewing Company by the train track. It's all opens at 11 a.m. at the Spectrum Science Discovery Center. They have Spiral Arts happening in the afternoon starting at 2 p.m. Kids Table at the library. Kids Table being presented by the Missoula Food Bank. The Missoula Public Library is hosting Kids Table, which runs every weekday from June 11th through August 24th. So you still have another week until next Friday, and offers kids and their caregivers a free lunch along with the activities from 11:30 to 1 p.m. in the library's large meeting room. Makerspace is also at the library starting from 12 to 5 p.m. So if you want to go get some lunch and you want to 3D print something, Makerspace at the library has all your needs to usually 3D printing, but it's also more than just a 3D printer thing because they do also have a class tonight, which I'll get to in a bit. Scrabble and Bridge. Missoula Senior Center hosts a Scrabble and Bridge. They have a bunch of cool, fun card games at the best dance floor in the city of Missoula. That's what they say, and it's pretty cool. So it all starts around 12:30. A Montana Sweet Home Application Workshop, and I want to mention this because this is through Homeward, and Homeward is a great organization that helps people with financial management and also with moving forward and purchasing your very first home. Homeward is happy to announce that the construction has begun for 6 small homes and is expected to be complete in December 2018, and I believe this is the area which is called the Shark Fin, which is near the Missoula Food Bank. They prepare for the application process. They want to notify the interested individuals about the eligibility and workshop requirements for purchasing one of these 6 homes. Middle School Riders is happening at 3:30 p.m. at the Missoula Public Library. From 3:30 to 5 p.m., hey, why not brush up some of your writing skills just before school starts? Missoula Public Library helps kids in grades 6 through 9 to get and give good feedback, play with words, and eat a little chocolate. And of course, like I said, there's the 3D printing workshop happening tonight at 6:30 p.m. at the Missoula Public Library. There's always a bunch of events at the Missoula Public Library, and why not check this out? You can come learn about Missoula Public Library's 3D printers during this workshop. Topics covered include how to set up prints, where to find 3D printed objects online, because a lot of times you can't just go online and find a picture and be like, I want a 3D print of this. Is like you have to have a 3D representation of it. So that's one of the things you'll learn through this, and it's only limited to 6 participants at a time, but they do this very frequently, so you can always sign up online by going to a link, MissoulaPublicLibrary.org. All right, guys, Wednesday night is full of karaoke and trivia nights, and also Missoula City Band. The Missoula City Band's last concert is tonight, starting at 8 p.m. at Bonner Park, so you can check that out. 8 p.m. they start playing. They're going to be playing pretty much all the popular music that they played, so if you miss any of the concerts, today would be the perfect day, or tonight, I mean, would be the perfect night to check out the City Band at Bonner Park starting at 8 p.m. where they'll be playing the best of all their music that they've played all summer long. And if you guys are interested in going out and about tonight, just so you guys know, there's Cody Jinks is going to be playing at the Wilma. It's country music. If you know country, you might know Cody Jinks. Missoula City Band, once again. Trivial Beer Suit is happening at the Press Box starting at 8:30 p.m. And also at 7:30 p.m. at the Silver Slipper. They have a trivia night there as well. Rocking Karaoke at the Dark Horse Bar. All these are starting late at night, so you can't miss it. Craptastic Karaoke is going to be at the Badlander. And that pretty much does it for your Wednesday. I do have an art clip I want to show you guys, and this is going to end next Thursday. Thanks to our very own Rick Phillips for producing those. He goes around to the art museum, captures a little bit of art installations that are in the art gallery that you may never see ever again. So it's a nice little excerpt to see some of the bustling art that happens out of the city of Missoula. So let's talk about some Thursday events. Hey, if you guys are planning on doing some things to Thursday, why not Tai Chi? Yes, I said it right. Tai Chi, and it's going to be hosted at the Lolo Branch Library. Missoula Public Library sponsors this at the Meet Lolo Branch Library for an introductory class at the Tai Chi. Classes will be held on school grounds at Lolo. Please wear comfortable clothes and shoes. Children under the age of 12 must be accompanied by an adult. And this is from 9:30 to 10:15. It's only 45 minutes, and it's going to be pretty cool. And starting at 11 a.m., Stomp Rockets is going to be on their hands-on science through the Spectrum Discovery Center. Discovery Database, novelist kindergarten through 8th grade. So Missoula Public Library does this every year, and they're looking to help your child find their next favorite book, and they can show your kids how to match your child's interest on books and that they enjoy. So let's say they have a bunch of books that they like and that they've read. Maybe they'll like these books. So that's kind of what they're going to do. So registration is required by calling 721-BOOK, otherwise known as 721-2665, and this happens from 12 to 1 p.m. in the computer classroom. And the kids sit down at a computer, log in all their books that they like, and then they give them a nice little, it goes through a little computer algorithm that helps them find the next book of their dreams. So that's happening it's called Discovery Databases, and you can check that out. It starts at noon tomorrow. Posture tune-up. Learning Center at Red Willow is doing a posture tune-up. So let's say you have horrible posture and you want to improve it just a little bit. Coaching sessions to improve posture, to increase range and ease of movement, overcome chronic pain, reduce stiffness and muscle tension, relieve stress and anxiety, and rediscover poise, balance, and freedom. This is a 50-minute coaching session at the Learning Center at Red Willow. Reservations are required, and you can go to the Learning Center at Red Willow's website. Lego Club, Missoula Public Library, starts at 3:30 p.m. Lego Club is a weekly event that happens every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. and this goes until about 5. It's just Legos. Kids get to hang out, play with Legos, figure out things, and it teaches kids spatial reasoning and basically basic construction and problem solving. So it's a good way to ignite imagination. Predator feeding at the Missoula Insectarium is happening at 3:30 p.m. Find out who is hungry today, MissoulaButterflyHouse.org, where you can find out everything you need to know about those creepy crawlies and just what kind of creepy crawlies are on your side. So you can find out all that by going to the Missoula Insectarium. Downtown tonight, Karis Park, it's their dinner equivalent of Out to Lunch. Downtown tonight hosts Miller Campbell, which is going to be some country music, and you can bring your family, bring your friends to join us Thursday night downtown Missoula. They have vendors, and they have beer gardens for anybody who wants to tie one over after a long day's work. Farm party, as they're going to be at the Peace Farm. This is the part of the year where they fire all their summer employees who work on their farm. Yeah, they usually do. It's a seasonal work for a lot of high school students, anybody interested in working on the Peace Farm, and also those dumb college kids who take it for credit and then they don't get paid. Like, it's really funny. I know somebody who actually works at the Peace Farm, and they mentioned it's like, wow, that's hilarious. Anyways, but they're doing a farm party, and starting at 5:30 p.m. at the Peas Farm, which is just up the Rattlesnake. Brought to you by Community... Let's see. Oh, yeah. It's brought to you by the Community Medical Center and the Good Food Store. The farm party helps us savor the last few weeks of summer. It reminds us why we love living in Missoula. It brings us together over a good meal, a few drinks, and a great band. Celebrate with food in our fields cooked with the Peas Farm Summer School and the Dining. Cheers with beers brewed right here in Missoula by the good folks of Draftworks Brewery. So... this is what's going to happen there, and that'll basically wrap up your daily events for your Thursday. But if you guys are planning on going out and about on Thursday night, we are a Thursday night party town, and also Saturday night. Friday nights usually seem to be pretty light for a lot of people in Missoula, but if you guys are planning on going out Saturday night, they're doing jazz music at Wave and Circuit. Carla Green Jazz. So if you like some jazz music and want to chill out for a bit, you can go to Wave and Circuit. I've never heard of this place. This must be a new place, so check it out. Justin Moore, Kettle House Amphitheater, is going to be playing a country music there, so it seems like this week is going to be owned by the country music scene. So Justin Moore will be playing at Kettle House Amphitheater. Get your tickets. Logjam Presents. The Lucid Furs, the Selson Blues, Atomic Candles is going to be at Monks. They're going to be playing some rock music. Rock and Karaoke, hosted by Aaron B. Rocks, is going to be at the Dark Horse, starting all this at 9 p.m. with iterations at different times. So most of these are your late night events, but you can find out more by going on to MissoulaEvents.net. Hey, if you have an event and you want to tell people about, you can submit an event right here. Yep, all you got to really do is provide a solid public venue for people, and you just need a time and a place, and you're pretty much good to go. So that pretty much does it for all your events right there. I got to close down pretty quickly. I got to wrap up the things in the studio because I'm going to have a bunch of kids coming down from Missoula County's Boys and Girls Club. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I will see you on Friday. I'll have a new summer series video of the week, hopefully from the Boys and Girls Club, because I have a really awesome video that I'm really excited to show you guys this Friday. So stay with me, and I'll be back this Friday at 9 a.m., and you can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and all that stuff, along with Missoula Community Access Television. Also, tonight is orientation. Sorry, I'm not even over. I'm not done yet. So orientation is happening tonight at MCAT, so if you're interested in learning about MCAT and being a part of MCAT, orientation is every single Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Check it out. So without further ado, thanks for joining me, and for Wake Up Missoula, I'm Scott Ramp.